Hey class, it's Kayla, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make fettuccine alfredo. And I chose to make it for the presentation because I actually recently learned how to make it during like quarantine, and it's all I ate since it's super easy to make. And yeah, so these are the ingredients.
So the ingredients you're going to need are fettuccine pasta, half a cup of heavy cream, half a cup of grated Parmesan, a half a cup of butter, and then salt, pepper, and parsley for taste. Then with the boiling water, you're just going to wait for it to actually boil, so don't add the pasta in yet. And in a separate pan in the meantime, you'll add the butter and the cream onto that pan and wait for it to all melt. So once the water started to boil, I added the pasta in and stir it every few minutes. That way the pasta doesn't really stick to each other. And I also just followed the directions on the fettuccine packaging as to like how long I need to cook it for. So going back to the sauce, you're just going to add the grated Parmesan onto the cream and the butter. I kind of let it cook for too long. It really shouldn't be bubbling. But yeah, just make sure you're aware. As for the pasta, now you're just gonna strain it, and you can't really see, but in the sink I actually have a bowl and I save a cup and a half of the pasta water just to mix it with the sauce, the Alfredo sauce that's cooking in the other pan. And then I also realized that I cooked the whole box, so here's me remaking the sauce. Basically, there's already butter and then the cream, and then here's me just adding the Parmesan to it, and then I'm just mixing it. And then once again, I'm just adding salt, pepper, parsley, and mixing it into the sauce. Finally, you're just gonna add the pasta into the Alfredo sauce into the pan and make sure you mix the pasta with the sauce. That way it's kind of even coated. And yeah, your pasta should look like this.
So now I'm going to taste the pasta, and it smells really good. And it is really good. You guys should really try it. So while I was editing this video, I kind of just realized how much dairy I'm actually consuming in this meal. And I never really thought about the dairy just because I always thought of pasta kind of just to be a carb, and like pasta itself is a carb, but I never really realized how like the flavor and the sauces kind of contribute to the actual meal. Like I would have never thought that someone with like a vegan or vegetarian diet wouldn't be able to have this type of fettuccine alfredo. So that kind of was interesting, honestly. I never really thought of it that way. So like I said before, I bought everything at ShopRite. I don't really know where everything comes from. A lot of the brands were pretty big, so the odds of there being like GMOs or something are pretty high. But I definitely would want to try to make homemade pasta with like the flour and the egg inside. But like I know you need to buy like the pasta machine maker thingy, and definitely would want to try like maybe fresher Parmesan because I did grate like the Parmesan cheese by hand, but I'm sure with like a fresher cheese from like one from like a farmer's market, it would taste a lot better. So hopefully I'll do that in the future soon.